Welcome to Nacho Fitness Coach,
where we're all about keeping it real in the world of fitness.
I'm Sarah, your go-to fitness professional, cutting through the BS to bring you the truth.
And I'm Kaylee, your fitness newbie, here to ask the questions you're too afraid to ask.
From crunches to kale, we've got the inside scoop on what works and what doesn't,
because fitness should be fun.
So Kaylee, what do you like to listen to when you work out?
I don't know, sometimes a podcast and sometimes music.
Hey, wait, this is a podcast. What if you could have both?
At the same time?
Oh, yeah. Podbeat is a free mobile app that lets you add any beat style to any podcast for your workout. It's easy to do and free to download in the App Store. Kaylee, you sound pretty cool with the trap beat, but Sarah, the funk beat works for your voice.
So if you want to make our podcast work for a workout, check it out in the App Store.
They even have Podbeat for Android users in the Google Play Store. Okay, on to the show.
So Kaylee,
What?
I have another social media account that's worth discussing.
We love a social media account.
I do love social media accounts. We're helping you cut through all of the BS that's out there, bringing to you only the highest quality content.
Because that's all that can be posted on social media.
Right, yeah, it's all real.
Quality.
Only the highest quality. It's all true. So Dr. Spencer Nadolski, I first heard him speak as a presentation at like a continuing education fitness weekend. And he has always kind of had a really interesting perspective in his uniqueness and of his delivery of his information.
Yeah.
And so he is a medical doctor by trade. He's went to medical school. He does have a history he was a college athlete. I think he was a wrestler, but he's an MD. He at the time was specializing in obesity, practicing family medicine, obesity. And he has a program or had a program like Docs Who Lift, like him and his brother did this thing because he feels like in traditional medicine, that is one area that gets underestimated is just prescribing strength training, overall health and wellness, you know, how quickly it can happen that just pills get prescribed. Right. And so that's his big thing is he's like, we're docs who lift, we do lift, he stays in shape, all of the things. And I do think he's got some now kind of part in Weight Watchers as a medical. He's doing something with Weight Watchers now too, just as like their medical advisory person. I feel like I'm probably butchering that.
Weight Watchers?
But yeah, I think so. I feel like he's shown some stuff on social media with that. But anyways, he has really good memes that he posts that are pretty on the point, and they can create some controversy. Sometimes he just does it, I feel like, to watch his comments section just blow up.
That's kind of the game right now.
It is the game. I mean, honestly, that's the name of social media in general. Like, that's engagement, right? It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. It's engagement. And I think that's one thing people forget to remember about social media.
It's
a game.
There's like this phenomenon on Threads, because I spend a lot of time on Threads now, and people will be like, if you save 1 penny for every day of the year, by the end of the year, you will have 3 billion.
And you're like,
blah,
no,
blah, blah.
You're going to have like $36.50.
They're like, let that sink in. And they're posting it to be funny, but then like the comments are like, I don't think you did your math right. Like,
and I say $36, be $3.65.
Exactly. Like it's doing exactly what it was meant to do.
People kind of feed right into it and don't take it so seriously. I think that's one thing is we need to just not take social media so seriously because people are gaming it now at this point. They realize how the algorithms work and all the things. But anyways, he has high quality content. If you're interested in getting a direct perspective on some things, he's a really good one. So his handle for Instagram, for example, is at Dr. Nadolski, and that's spelled Nadolsky.
Is he a young guy or
he's probably younger than me. I would say he's
that's not hard.
Maybe around 40.
Most of us are.
I don't know if he's hit 40 yet. So he's maybe closer to your age.
Oh, okay.
I know he's got a little kid, I think, at this point. So anyways, but the one that I had kind of saved for us to talk about because I came across it is how to lose weight according to blood type. Because every now and then this will rear its head. We look at like fitness trends or things that people are sharing or somebody that's trying to sell you something and they're trying to get you a product based on your blood type.
Okay.
Because it's your blood type that is going to, if you play to that, you'll lose weight.
According to your blood type.
Are you kidding? I mean, have you heard this before?
No, but I see the graph. And
so do you fall for that?
Would I?
Yeah.
I wouldn't, because A, I don't know my blood type. B,
I was like, well, that would require that key piece of information for sure.
that sounds entirely too complicated for me. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I have blood type B, so I have to lose weight this way. Like, no, that's beyond, no. I don't subscribe.
You're not going to subscribe to that. It's way too complicated.
But I can see how some people might, because it feels like a very personalized, and I think a lot of people are looking for that. Like, oh, well, I can't lose weight because I have a type A blood.
Yeah.
Like, or whatever.
It's kind of like a medical, quote unquote, medical perspective on reasons why you can't lose weight.
It's a good excuse.
It's what it is.
We love a good excuse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who doesn't?
Fitness Coach.
I just feel like you got to own it, though, if it's going to be an excuse, right? I mean, yeah. So don't fall for it, my friends. Blood types, body types, fecal types, genotypes.
Oh, all the types.
Maybe someday we will know, but right now, follow the usual principles of energy balance,
calories,
satiating, nutrient-dense foods, whole foods, all of like the whole foods kind of like general rule.
Okay, so what this
energy balance? So
what this chart is saying is that if you have, these are the blood types, like group A, group B.
Yeah. So if you have your red cell blood type, if you are an A, a B, an AB, or if you have blood type O,
right?
He's got like the little molecule of blood like drawn out and how they vary based on your blood type. Mm-hmm. And then it even draws in a line to make it more scientifically looking, actually, right? It says
I was actually a little overwhelmed when you pulled this up. I was like, oh shit.
It's like, what is this
talk
actually
about this? But now I get it.
And then it talks about antibodies and plasma. And so it's got like the anti-B and the anti-A and the none. And then it's got all the little like,
do people know this about themselves?
Blood type?
Yeah. Am I supposed to know that?
I mean, I have mine written down in a note on my phone because I can't ever really remember exactly what it is. But
you don't know off the top of your head?
No, I don't. I mean, I can look at it really quick because I'm pretty sure I wrote it as like a blood type. Because I was trying to actually keep my kids' ones too, because I feel like sometimes
shit, am I supposed to know my kids' blood type? I should probably ask my mom what
I'm
my blood
O positive.
type is.
My husband's O positive. And so is one of, I mean, I think that makes all of our kids O positive though then, because if we're both the same blood type, I don't think it can be anything different. So I know for sure my third one is.
I should ask my mom what my blood type is. Where is she? How are you going to do that, Kaylee? Where is she? Wish I could. Anyway, moving on. She might know.
I do think one fast way that people learn their blood type if they don't know is they'll go donate blood. Because I think they give you like a report.
Have you ever donated blood?
Once.
You love it?
I did not feel good afterwards.
I don't think I'd feel very good.
I was not. And I feel like I'd eaten and everything before then, and it just did not make me feel good. So I even tried to eat like all the little snacks. But imagine all the people that like
need your blood. They probably don't feel good either.
Well, I feel, isn't O the universal donor?
I know nothing about blood. Nothing.
I feel like I don't know. Somebody, if you know out there, if you're listening to this,
to be doing this episode.
If you're listening to this and you do know, maybe put some comments for us in the comment section. Just enlighten us.
Slide into our DMs because we don't know.
Educate us a little
bit. What we do know
is
that if you are in group A with this, but do these two have to line up?
No, I mean, I think it's just trying to make it look. So it's just basically like fancy looking grid where there's rows and columns, and it makes it look like it's a very scientifically studied grid.
Yeah, how to lose weight according to your blood type. So if you're group A blood type, it's a caloric deficit.
This is
you're in group B blood type.
Yeah, this is the best part. It's the third row where it says diet.
It's just caloric deficit all the way across. Group B, caloric deficit. Group AB, caloric deficit. Group O, caloric deficit. Turns out how to lose weight.
Somebody actually put
Sandy. Look at Sandy coming in here.
Sandy came in with the content from the actual medical journal.
Sandy.
Oh, this article has a correction. When somebody loses weight, where does body?
Is this a white paper?
Where's BIFA go? Yeah, it is actually, but I don't know why this one has anything to do with blood type. Maybe I should actually read it. I could. There's some graphs. Lifting the veil on weight loss.
We don't have time for this right now. I do want to
I'm not going to read that, no, but I do actually like to scroll through the comments.
We don't have time for facts and science.
What if I'm an ectomorph? And I was like, that's the best part, because up in his topic and in his content post, he actually says body types, blood types, fecal types, genotypes. And then the one guy is like, oh, what if I'm an ectomorph?
Is that from Ghostbusters? Oh.
That is the ecto, though. Their vehicle.
Like ectoplasma?
Is the ecto one. Is their...
Alan?
It's their Ghostbusters mobile is the ecto one.
But there was a like a goo that was called ectoplasma. Or Alan?
Yes, you're both correct. Ecto one's the ambulance that they go
they converted.
busting.
Yeah,
Ectoplasma
like
is the green gooey stuff.
but that had nothing. That has nothing to do with an ectomorph. By the way,
Ectomorph.
an ectomorph is a body type. So this is also another, because he kind of mentions that. So if you have, this is a body type. So what it's basically saying
The comments
is,
are always like, anytime somebody like spits some kind of like fitness facts, there's always people in the comments that are like, well, what if?
yeah. So there's all these different
Yes.
types of body types, and it's mesomorph, ectomorph, endomorph. And
What
so
am I?
basically it's showing you,
I don't even know my blood type, like I care.
oh my gosh. So, but he's also saying that this is also, you can't do a diet. He's also saying that you don't have a diet specifically to your body type. So there
So no
are
matter what
definitely
you are.
some people who,
An endomorph, stockier, that's not me, stockier bone structure, medium, relatively. So I'm an ectomorph.
are you?
More narrow shoulders and hips
Yeah.
in respect to height, relatively smaller muscles in respect to bone length, naturally fast metabolism, potentially indicative of disordered eating.
There we go.
Wonderful.
So a mesomorph is a medium bone structure with shoulders wider than the hips, developed
You're a
athletic muscular,
mesomorph.
probably, yeah. Efficient metabolism, muscle gain and loss help both happen within relatively.
I didn't even know these were a thing.
Yeah, endomorph, you're carrying more body fat throughout. Your gains, you're slow. Gains weight, gains fat fast and loses it slow. Unnaturally slower metabolism. So, which this is also what he is saying does not control your diet. I mean, yes, there are definitely different body types out there, because you can tell there's some people that just are more naturally
For sure. I
mean,
didn't know there was like a whole
that there's names for them.
name for them.
So now you know. But yeah, that's funny, because she totally posted a video or a link to an article that had actually really nothing to do.
So bottom line here is, and that's kind of what I've like come to find out over the last couple of years, is that in order to lose weight, you have to be in a caloric deficit. Like that is you can do it any way you want. You can do intermittent fasting. You can do the keto diet or the, what's the other one? I don't know. The other diet.
Atkins,
whatever kind of diet you want. But if you're not in a caloric deficit, you're not going to lose weight.
not a lot of it.
So
really
do it
is.
however you want. Call it whatever you want. Whatever makes you feel good at the end of the day.
Yep.
You have to be in a caloric deficit.
That's very true. But now this is where this is actually the top. So this is part of the topic when I first heard him do his very first presentation to a room full of fitness professionals. I mean, he talked about obesity, his study of medicine, obesity. And he said, if there's one thing that you all in this room take away from my conversation right now, just the one thing, he goes, the one thing I would like for you to take away is that you are become more empathetic towards people dealing with obesity, because you do get these hard ass trainers that are just like, eat less, move more, like no empathy.
Yep.
I can do it. You can do it. All of that BS. And so, as he has ventured into this study of obesity and having this, working with those patients, and he's like, there's a lot of different reasons why somebody could be dealing with that situation. Yep. And so there's one question here where it's like, is obesity genetic, or are there genetic factors which might make it more difficult for someone to lose weight? And, they're like apologizing because they're like, sorry, this, if this is a stupid question, but I'm genuinely wondering. And because he has studied this now so much, he's like, actually, yes, check my highlight, because he's got some posts that he has that are tagged and highlighted as things. So, for him, he definitely feels like there is a genetic component to obesity, which I'm guessing is a super complex situation. So that's definitely far outside my scope. And I would definitely say if you fall into that category, this is a great social media account to follow, connect with. He does a great job with all of his information on that. But I did think it just brought up a good topic, because every now and then it does kind of pop up in like its own little cycles. Somebody starts promoting a certain diet that's specific to your biology somehow, whether it's your body type, whether it's your blood type, whatever it might be.
Well, and it's hard because it is like, while when I, go back a couple minutes ago, and I'm like, it all comes down to caloric deficit. Yes, but I think that's not the answer that is going to solve a lot of people's problems. My caloric deficit isn't necessarily going to look the same as an obese person's caloric deficit.
No, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So me losing weight in that way is not going to look the same as somebody who, is struggling with obesity.
No, and he definitely is somebody that he's like, listen, there are lots of tools that can help people in their journey, and nobody should be shaming anyone with the tools. What was the more recent, drug that everyone was using? Yeah. Ozempic or whatever it was. Yeah. And so it's that is a tool that can help people get healthy. Sometimes it's not just about, physique goals. Sometimes it's literally just getting you from where you're at to healthier and moving in that direction. Don't ever shame anybody that has had, say, gastric bypass surgery. That is not a shortcut. That is not any easier of a path. It's maybe something that they're trying because they've probably exhausted a lot of other efforts, and they are going to try. And then there was a coworker of mine years ago where he had a friend that had the gastric bypass surgery, and all of a sudden he just started losing. I think he had told me at one of the meetings he had just recently lost 150 pounds or something. It was a lot. And I was like, just kind of curious and just kind of chat with him about it, because he was proud of where he was at and everything he came. And I was like, so, how have you done it? He was definitely wanting to talk about it. And he said, well, I had a friend that had the surgery, and all I started doing was eating exactly what they ate.
Oh.
Which was portion control.
Yeah.
Because when you get that, the stomach size is so small.
Right.
And so anyways, he's like, I just started eating only in the amounts that he was able to eat. And so you look at caloric deficit. It's really easy to underestimate how much we're truly consuming. And that was his strategy, and it worked for him. So, but yeah, what's happened when you've been on Ozempic for 20 years? Oh, he's got some posts about that.
Yeah, there was another one about Wegovy, which is the same thing. I don't know. I haven't delved a whole lot into the whole Ozempic thing. I've heard a lot about it. Yeah. I've seen it. It's a thing.
Well, he says the long-term effects of drugs are unknown. Yeah, but his comment is fewer heart attacks. There are probably fewer weight-related heart attacks coming out of it. Yeah. So, at least maybe if that's been a tool that's worked, maybe those people are actually living for another 20 years. I think
it's like anything else. I think we're going to find out probably, we'll eventually figure out what, if any, bad side effects there are going to be. I have heard people on Ozempic, not personally, but just through social media. There are some people on Ozempic who swear it ruined their life, made them miserable. There are some people who were like, it changed my life for the better. So depends on your goals, I guess.
It does. See, it's kind of catches on now, doesn't it? He also was very funny because this is what I think gets him a lot of activity, is because he is artificial sweeteners are not going to be the end of the world for you.
I feel like that's a lot of people are talking about that right now.
People get very heated about that conversation, and it's very triggering for some people. They
got really demonized for a long time, and now it's kind of bouncing back, saying they're actually not that bad.
He does go out and he's just like, it's not really that bad. He goes, really, I would rather have you drink a Diet Coke than a full-on Coke. Obviously depending on your goals, but it is kind of funny because people do blow up his comments, and he kind of at this point does it just to be entertaining.
I think artificial sweeteners got the, I don't know, kind of stepchild for a while, because just like anything else, we're always demonizing something, whether it's,
of course, because we can't just stick to the right thing. We have to find out what's wrong.
Well, we can't just all agree that you lose weight by being in a caloric deficit.
You know what? I feel like if it was up to me,
Let's go.
which I know it's not.
Could be.
Do you remember there was a point in time in our history where it was like the unwritten rule that you don't talk about religion or politics?
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, that was the golden rule, I feel like, about communication for generations.
Yeah.
You don't talk about religion or politics. Some of that has went out the window, which is kind of annoying.
We're all talking about
I really wish we would bring that back. Don't talk, but I would also throw in there like nutrition. Like, don't talk about it because it's your own personal. I mean, we are talking about it, but like a party, for example, you know, I would not walk up to somebody and talk to them about their diet in just like a small group or party setting. Like, I just feel like it's really annoying how many people. Well, yeah, it should be a topic of conversation where I'm like, you know what? That's your own personal.
Well, and we've talked a little bit about like Diet Coke drinkers. They're like really intense. I mean, that's an intense
it's a
group
thing.
of people. They love their Diet Coke.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine being like, you know, because I was on the Mountain Dew for a long time. People are like, I don't know how you can drink that shit. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Worry about yourself.
Yeah. Yes. But the opinions that come from people from random stuff where I'm like, let's just go back to the days where we don't talk about religion or politics or food with people that
add in the food thing.
Yeah, just add in the food.
That was never a thing.
I think you should add, add in
so
the
new
food
rule.
thing.
We don't talk about religion, politics. We don't talk about money. Remember that was a thing?
That is a thing. I still feel like that's a thing. I still feel like that's a thing because there's a lot of people that get really butthurt when you start talking about money.
I know. I think the tide's turning on that a little bit.
And then they start looking at you like, oh, well, now you can or you can't, or, you know, they start getting opinions.
Now they're saying like within the workplace, which I have not been employed in like 15 years, but within the workplace, like people should be talking about what they're making.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was the number one like HR thing.
Yeah. It was all to like, so that they could pay you less than they paid.
Well, I actually saw it working the other way. So like I saw it working the other way. They were like, you know what, just, you don't talk about it because everyone comes in with different levels of experience, their value.
No,
I feel like
so that they could pay you less as a woman while they pay Georgie Porgy more when you have more
I never
education.
saw it that way. I never experienced that. And I also never saw it that way. Like I always saw it as, you know, you do bring different amounts of experience, even if you're doing the same technical
You didn't
job.
care that people might be getting paid more than you? And
no, because what actually happened was there was one guy that came in that was talking about it. And I would have preferred not to know what he was at because I maybe would have actually looked at him differently. But I was actually more hypercritical of the work he was doing.
Knowing what he got paid?
Yes.
I don't know. Like I said.
But he also had like an extra 5 years of experience than me. He came in from like another sales job. And I'm like, well, I could see why there was a difference. But at the same time, like it just, I don't know, it kind of disgruntled a few people, or you looked at somebody a little bit differently that I almost kind of wish it would. Yeah. I mean, I would have given him a different chance if I wouldn't have known.
Interesting.
I just really didn't care.
I don't know. I just remember that was always a thing. Like you did not discuss your salary or hourly or anything.
Because people get upset about it.
I suppose. But so we don't talk about politics, religion, food or money.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
What else is there to talk about?
Angry people on social media.
Yeah, that's always
the lost dog. Or the stray dog.
Listen, Sarah and I live in a small town, and we have a neighborhood or like a
community,
page, Facebook page, and the hot thing this past week has been this stray dog that like the entire town has been trying to catch. And good news today, they caught the dog. Everybody can rest.
I don't know what everyone's going to talk about. It was just so funny. The drama. I mean, the people, and honestly, like some of it's the same people that are just angry about everything all of the time.
What are people mad about? Just that
they were just mad that like why hadn't anybody caught it, and like the poor dog, and it's injured. Like why is nobody doing anything? And everyone's like, we are trying, but we can't catch it. And you know what? stop feeding it, because when it has a source of food, then it's more,
Oh, God. It was a whole thing.
It was going on for a really long time.
Like Grey's Anatomy. It was just like a whole, it went on for entirely too many seasons. And it was a whole thing.
So true. It was a whole thing. So anyways,
that's what we've been doing.
Those are the kinds of things then that, sure, just talk about the stupid stuff on social media.
Let's all just talk about stupid stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
Not have intelligent conversations ever.
no. Now, listen, here's the deal.
You're like, no.
I feel like those were the rules in just like generally speaking with acquaintances.
I see what you're saying, because as far as like talking about nutrition or like what somebody else is putting in their face, mouth,
right, whatever, one of those holes or something. Well, it's like, I mean, the joke is true. How do you know somebody's doing keto?
they'll tell you about it.
They'll tell you about it. How do you know somebody does CrossFit?
They'll tell you about
They'll
it.
tell you about how you know somebody's vegan.
How do you know Sarah ran a marathon?
I'll tell you about it. That one time 25 years ago.
But I can see, like, as the person who's like, because I've pulled the whole, like, I'm lactose intolerant. It does not dictate my diet by any means. Like, I just deal with the consequences of consuming dairy. But it's come up. But, like, if somebody, like, looking at me sideways because I'm eating yogurt or whatever.
Should you be eating that?
Right.
Because, you are lactose intolerant.
Shut up.
If only we're thank you.
Like, I don't care.
It's worth every bite.
What you have to say.
I don't really care what many people have to say, but people talk at me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't remember asking you. Like, I actually have a shirt, Ben Bruno. We've talked about him. He's a great trainer from what I can tell. I mean, I feel like I know him because I connect with him so well on his through his social media posts. But, he's like, I don't remember asking you,
Right.
for your opinion.
Right. If I ask you for your opinion.
Did I ask you for your opinion? Like,
Right.
I don't remember. Yeah, me neither. That's.
Also, I just want to, before we wrap up this episode, I just want to take a second.
Are you ready to wrap it up?
Well, we're like 30 minutes in.
Okay.
I do want to just take a second and thank you for the pizza that you ordered before we recorded this episode. Sucked.
I ordered it correctly, and it was not made
I feel
according
like
to order.
It is a well-established fact
Kaylee
on
hates
this
vegetables.
podcast. Not that I hate vegetables, that I despise, loathe mushrooms. Of all, is it a vegetable? Like, no, I don't know. It's a fungus. It's a fungus.
Which I think is technically a vegetable.
God damn.
Or a mushroom.
Or no, Google is a fungus, a vegetable. It's a
mushroom?
fungus.
Although considered a vegetable,
They're neither a plant nor animal food. They are a type of fungus that contains a substance called ergosterol. That's disgusting.
great. Now we're going to get all kinds of hate comments because you can't.
Ergosterol. I don't give a shit. Mushrooms are gross.
Ergosterol?
And anyway, we tried to order a pizza with half mushroom and beef, half beef.
Because
for me.
Kaylee would not budge on the beef situation. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You can have beef, but can I add mushrooms to half of it? You were like, don't you dare have any of that.
I didn't want it
near.
even touching the two slices where it like meets in the middle.
I'm like,
I was very clear.
That's fine. I got it. I'll put it on only half. And it'll be fine. And they'll cut it and we'll be able to see where it's at. And
The
you can
mushrooms came on the whole damn thing. Came all over it.
She full on like
Gagged. I tried. I was like, all right, I'll eat the pieces with like the leaf. I ate two pieces. Two pieces of pizza with mushrooms on it. They're so gross. I can't. So I just wanted to thank you for the mushroom pizza.
They're so good because they have.
They're so gross.
They're even the canned ones, which are my favorite. Like,
Stop. Anyway,
so
hard no on the mushrooms.
Let us know if you like mushrooms.
Let us know in the comments.
Are you Team Kaylee or Team Sarah on this one? Because
you made a mushroom face.
for ordering you pizza and paying for it.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm glad it was free for me because I wouldn't have paid for that.
All right. Well, anyway. Oh, yikes. Okay. Well, I mean, it is a vegetable, so
it's a fungus.
It's a vegetable. Oh well, that's all we've got for today.
It's great. What was this episode about? Blood type.
Cool. Diet.
All right. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to head over to our Instagram at Nacho Fitness Coach and let us know how you feel about the topic. Do you love it or hate it?
Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening. And if you like our podcast, leave us a rating. See you next time.
You've been listening to Euphony Innovatives Sonified.